Welcome back to Way of the Wise Owl. Today we're addressing something subtle but powerful. Why do you keep repeating yourself? Not occasionally, repeatedly. You say what you need. You clarify what you expect. You communicate the boundary, and then you say it again, and again, and again. Let's be direct. If you're repeating yourself, it is not a communication problem. It is an enforcement problem. Most people believe that if they just explain better, people will respect the boundary. But respect does not grow from explanation. It grows from consequence. Here's what's really happening when you repeat yourself. You are hoping the other person will choose differently without you changing anything. You are waiting for behavior to improve on its own. You are delaying the decision that enforcement requires. Repeating yourself feels productive. It feels assertive. It feels like you're standing up for yourself. But if nothing changes, it's not assertion. It's avoidance. Avoidance of what? Loss, discomfort, conflict, finality. Let's walk through a simple example. You tell someone you don't tolerate being spoken to disrespectfully. They do it again. Instead of changing your access, changing your availability, or ending the interaction, you explain why it hurt you. That explanation teaches them something. It teaches them that your boundary comes with emotional processing, not consequence. So they test it again, not because they're evil, but because there was no cost. When there is no cost, there is no shift. Repeating yourself is often a sign that you want the relationship more than you want the standard. And that's hard to admit, but necessary. Within the B.A.D.D.I.E framework, boundaries require accountability. And accountability starts with you. You must be accountable for enforcement, not just communication. Let me ask you something calmly. If someone ignored your boundary once and you enforced it immediately, what would change? Most people fear that enforcement will push people away. Sometimes it will. But what remains after enforcement is real. What leaves was already misaligned. Repeating yourself keeps misalignment comfortable. Enforcement reveals it. There is a difference between patience and tolerance. Patience allows growth. Tolerance allows disrespect. If you are constantly explaining the same boundary, ask yourself, what am I unwilling to enforce? What am I afraid to lose? What am I hoping will change without a decision? The truth is simple. A boundary repeated without consequence becomes background noise. You deserve more than being background noise in your own life. So here's your application for this week. Choose one boundary. Just one. Say it once. And if it is crossed again, enforce it calmly. No speeches. No emotional escalation. No long explanation. Just enforcement. That is how you retrain your environment. And more importantly, yourself. Because every time you enforce a boundary, you rebuild self-trust. And self-trust is the foundation of elevation. If you are ready for structured support in rebuilding self-trust and correcting these patterns at a deeper level, the B.A.D.D.I.E intensive is open for application. If you are still in the awareness stage, the B.A.D.I.E rehab workshop will introduce the full framework clearly. Either way, stop repeating yourself. Decide. I'll see you in the next episode.